everybody. Thank you so much. My name is Michael Nardi. We've met earlier, but I'm from Bryn Mawr Quilts. Thank you so much for signing up for my very first retreat. I am honored and humbled that you all came out to see me and do this. You know, this has been one wild journey that actually started right here at Missouri Stars. So it's kind of full circle for me, and I'm really excited to bring this to you. We're going to learn a lot this week. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to show you some quilts tonight. We're going to do an awesome quilt show, and I'm kind of just going to tell you a little bit about my journey and how I got my start. So about 15 years ago, I was what I thought at the time was probably one of the darkest times in my life. I was going through an awful divorce. I came home from work one day and my ex-wife handed me my keys and said, "I love you, but I love myself more, and I'm gone." And she picked up and left. And it was, what do I do? You know, I was literally left with holding the bag. Like, and it was fine. Like, we knew it had to happen, but it still doesn't take away from like what you want, you know, your life to be. So that summer I was just lost. And when I thought I hit my low part, the lowest part in my life, I was laying in bed, feeling sorry for myself, thinking like, what am I going to do with my life? Like, I have nothing. I go to work, I come home, I was an autopilot, take care of the dogs, do this, pay bills. Like, it was just trying to stay afloat and stop feel like I'm drowning. And I was surfing YouTube, and I discovered the ultimate binding tutorial by Jenny Jones. The funny thing about that is, as you all know, and I've said this earlier, I bind by credit card. I hate doing it. So, you know, I was laying there, and it was like an instantaneous peace, something I had never felt in my life. It was almost like God was shining down on me at that moment, and it was like it clicked. About 27 videos later, and about 4 in the morning, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I got to go to work in the morning. I got to be up in an hour and a half. So at that moment, I had a plan. I got up, got ready for work. I went to work, and on my lunch break, I went to my local Joann, and it was on Elston, Chicago, and I signed up for my first Learn to Sew. At that point, I had only done handwork. My grandparents were a tailor and a seamstress, and I only learned how to sew by hand. And they had passed away, so I never got to learn the machine, so I had to start somewhere. Went to Joann, I bought my first sewing machine. I took my very first class with Marilyn Baker, and I fell in love with it instantaneous. The next week, I signed up for my first Learn to Quilt, and then I took the next class, and I took the next class, and I just kept doing it and doing it. By the 6-month mark, I had surpassed anything they could have taught me, and they hired me on the spot to be an educator. 6 months after that, I was the assistant education director for the Joann systems for the Midwest, and it just kind of exploded from there.
Wow.
And if it wasn't for discovering Missouri Star and Jenny, I don't know where I would be. So in 2013, or no, I'm sorry, 2020, when did we come here?
23.
Our first night.
Yeah.
23.
So they started doing, maybe a few years before that, they do a thing called the Dome Girls Retreats. And you got to come and work with Natalie, Jenny, and Misty, and you got to do a retreat with them. You got to learn classes, and I'm like, you know what? I wasn't going to do it. I was like, you know, it's just a lot of money. It's a lot to commit. I'm just starting to recover, you know, financially from this situation. And then I was like, last minute, I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm pulling the trigger, paid my money. I think I booked it like the week prior, because they still had seats. Because I think in that year, that was the year that they added an extra, like, just an extra time to the, you know, an extra date that wasn't even scheduled. And I came, I had a plan. So I got in the car, I drove here, I was just like, okay, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. And I walked in, and if any of you done a Dome Girls Retreat before? So if you do a Dome Girls Retreat, if you come here by yourself for the first time, they pit you at the designated singles table. It's, you know, jokingly, they tell you that. So I came by myself, and they put me at the singles table. Well, it was the people who came alone, who were there with nobody. And that's when my true quilt life began, was that retreat. I met some of the most amazing, sorry, it's hard for me. I met some of the most amazing women who have propped me up. And we met that week, and I have been in contact with them every day since that retreat. And everything just kind of happened, and meeting Jenny and the girls was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. And it was just such a mind-blowing experience for me. And the creativity that I learned that week is what sparked all of this. So I had gone home with this new lease on life, with new friends for the first time since I was a kid. Like, just people who loved me for me. Somebody who just met me, who had no reason to love me and take care of me. And they just did. And that's what this community has done for me. So I went home, and they came out with the Jenny box. And it was just like, oh, this is great. So I got my box. It came early. Of course, I can't wait. And I started, mine came in like the end of summer, and I started opening. And I'm going through this box, and I'm like, oh, this is great. I love this. And there was these plates with snowflakes. And they just sparkling like, wow, what can I do with these? These are beautiful. I'm going to make a quilt. And at this point, like I said, I've been in touch with these women. We've already planned to go in February, because by then they had opened up the next year for the Dome Girls Retreat. And I made this quilt. I was showing them, they're like, oh, that's beautiful, that's cool, this is great. So then, as soon as December came and they started airing, I believe it was the 14th day, because 14 is actually my lucky number, and I remember that. So the plates were day 14. So I had already made the quilt at that point, and I'm like, oh, you know, I'm gonna post it, because it has its own separate page. So unbeknownst to me, I post the quilt. I'm like, oh great, look at, I made a quilt, you know, to make these. And I go to bed. I wake up in the morning, and I have 2,000 views. And then it just kept climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing. And by the end of the day, I was at 60,000 views. By the end of the week, I was at 250,000 views. People calling me, oh my God, where do I get the pattern? Where do I get the pattern? And then the best phone call ever came. I got a phone call from Jay. And he's like, oh my God, you're coming in February. This is beautiful. I love this. I want to put you on our Tuesday News Day. So I did. It came in February, and that quilt and that moment changed my life forever. And it's been a trajectory ever since. And everything from that moment on has just been increasingly better, that my life has just become so engrossed into this industry and so loving and so grateful. Every opportunity that has come my way, I have jumped on and I've seized. I literally went from this boy from Chicago, this little Italian boy from the south side of Chicago, to now building a brand for myself and being a part of this amazing just community. And I couldn't be grateful, you know, and it all started right here. And it's just amazing that after all this time, after all these years, full circle, I'm back here, and I get to bring a little bit of what I do to you and to everybody else in my circle. You know, I'm a successful pattern designer. I've been published numerous times in different magazines for quilting. I have my own fabric line coming out. I'm with Andover Fabrics. I've had opportunity after opportunity, just everything that I can get my hands on, I just take it. Because if I can share what I do in my experience with the quilting world, anybody can do this. And it is what it is. Like it is, this is what I say, it is what it is. This is life. This has become the air that I breathe. It gives me purpose that I never had. You know, growing up, I always tried different things and nothing ever stuck. And then this was like my God moment. Like God sent me here. Like He is with me. He made this happen. So thank you so much for coming out today. We want to see some quilts so I can stop. All right, so let me show you the quilt that started it all.
Yes.
So this is the quilt. I named it Advent Stars.
Oh. Wow.
Just like the plate.
So,
Wow.
yeah, it's literally from the plates. And this was the first pattern I ever published, and it's still my most popular pattern to this day.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I think at this point now, after all this time, I've sold over 50,000 copies at this point. It's been featured, you know, it was featured in, like we showed it in Block Magazine, along with my spread, because I was also published with them just last year, so, but this was the first one.
Beautiful. Need a retreat for that.
What's up?
Need to do
A retreat? Well, we'll have to set that up. All right, and then this one is called Scottish Isle. It is the first quilt that I was ever published for in American Patchworking Quilting. So me and my current partner, we were planning a trip to Scotland, and we were going through like old books and stuff, and I came across this story about like ancient Scotland, and in the 1600s they used to carve quilt blocks over their threshold of their house into the stone, and they used to call them sentinels. And this was from one of this is called the actual block is called Scottish Sentinel, and it's from one of the oldest clans. And I was like, you know what, this is perfect. We're going to Scotland, we're planning our trip, I'm gonna make a quilt for it. And I happenstance sent it to American Patchworking Quilting, and they fell in love with it, they loved the story, and they published it. So if you have Scottish heritage, you might wanna, you know, and it's very easy to make. So I'm one of those who likes to cut corners and allow you to like really maximize your fabric. Yes?
So, do you actually quilt it or just piece it?
I don't. So I have two quilters that I use. Well, three if you count Natalie, because she's done a couple for me. Barb Jolly, and she's from Chicago. She is my amazing, amazing quilter. And my friend Lynn Ray, she's also, but she does edge to edge. She's for like, if you want to get it done. So Barb Jolly does a lot of my custom work. So you get to see her. And then I just recently, through my good friend Renee Nanaman, who I met through designing fabric, through Andover, she gave me her quilter recently, and her name is Karen Kazar, and she's just not far from here, maybe a couple hours. I want to say she's in Overland Park. Am I saying that right?
Yes, that's an hour and a half away.
Yeah, so that's where she's at, and she does a beautiful custom work, and you're going to see a couple of her pieces too. So, this quilt is called Turkey Trotters, and how it got its name is that it's an old block called Turkey Tracks, and when I was designing it, I was showing it to my husband. I said, "Oh, it's called Turkey Tracks," and he goes, "Oh." Because he's got a British accent, he goes, "Oh, that really does look like turkey trotters." So that's how it got its name.
I like it.
It's very pretty, like it's an old, but there's actually, what's funny about this block, is there's this old wives' tale that if you don't give this to a woman who's getting married, because the block is cursed and she's doomed to get divorced. I like read a thing about it.
That's
And
funny.
I'm like, really, there's so much folklore within the quilting community that I've learned. But yeah, go ahead.
If you give that to a baby, he's doomed to wander.
Oh, okay, so you see, she knew another one, yeah. There you go. All right, so this one's really funny. It's got a great story. So this one, I joined a guild a few years ago. I belong to the Northern Lake County Quilt Guild in Antioch, Illinois, and I happened to volunteer for our challenge quilt. So once a year, our guild does a challenge quilt, and whoever's in charge of it makes up the rules. So I did this thing called the half-yard handoff, and what you did was you went to your stash and you pulled 4 half-yard cuts of fabric and you brought it in. You pulled a number from one box, the next person pulled from the other. Whoever number you matched with, you switched fabric with, and then they had to make a quilt with that fabric. You can add to it, but that's what you work with. There's a caveat though. If you got a red number, you could switch with anybody at the end. So, you know, it got people to work outside their comfort zone, not normally work with fabric. They got, well, I don't know, it just worked out this way. There was no cheating involved, even though I get accused of it all the time. So my best friend is in the guild. We both pulled each other's numbers, so I got her fabric, and I'm like, oh man, it's Kate Fassett. And I'm like, it's really busy. I hate cutting his fabric up because it's so beautiful, and you never know what you're going to get. So this is in his chrysanthemum line, and it's called Connecting Ribbons. It's a lot of fun, and it's easy to make. It's entirely made of strip sets and setting triangles, like literally. And it made me have a better appreciation for Kate, actually just saying, you know what, I'm gonna cut this up. And you end up with, I mean, the colors in this fabric is just amazing. I do. Okay, so here's the thing. I was taught, always label your quilts. But I don't quilt for other people. I quilt for myself. And I label the name of the quilt and the year I made it. Mm-hmm. So that's what they have there.
Is it embroidered?
It is. That's the only thing that I use my embroidery function on my machine for. Because what am I going to do with it? Some people love embroidery, some people don't. Like for me, I'd rather hand embroider than use my machine. So this one was actually one of the first quilts I submitted, but it didn't get aired in American Patchwork and Quilting until this last issue. So this was actually on display at H&H because they were giving the magazine away to everybody. So this is called Strawberry Lemonade, and the block is called the Bryn Mawr Star. I invented the block, so this is mine. And it's like one of 2 batik quilts I've ever made. You know, batiks are great. They have beautiful color, but it's a weight issue for me. You know, I don't like the weight of them. Not that they don't have their place in the world. You get great saturation, but they're just not my favorite. But it worked out for the magazine, so. Thank you.
I love the purple.
What? Strawberry lemonade? Well, they named it. So, I did not. All right, so this next one, this is called 5 Paths. So I have my own set of Drunkard's Path rulers, and they go from a 2-inch up to a 6-inch, and it uses the entire thing. And I did this in Dimples, which is one of our basics from Andover, and it's in the Red series, and it's all Drunkard's Path. I think it's upside down.
Wow.
Let's see.
Wow.
Very pretty. It's got a lot of movement. Yeah, I love it. And then this was, Barb Jolly did this for me, and she bound it for me. She does the flange, because she learned from Jenny. Yeah, I don't know. You'll see, you know when I bound it, look. Like when I gotta get it done.
What did you call it? Flange?
Flange, yeah. And there's a video that Jenny did some time ago.
Yeah.
And it gives you a little bump. And feel free, when we're done, come up. So this one, I also have another template called the Tilted Path. So I love paper piecing. I love the way it looks. I hate doing it. Still don't understand it. Doesn't work. So I was like, how do I come up with a ruler that could give me these weird angles and allow me to take a traditionally paper pieced block and turn it to traditional piecing? So this is it. This is called the Tilted Firework. This is my patriotic one. And this is traditionally paper piece, but with my template, you can get this. And from what I'm told, if you take the border off, it's the perfect size for Quilts of Valor. For those of you who- Quilts of Valor. I love the wind chimes. So this is the original quilt. It's called Tilted Pack that comes with the ruler. So it gives you those weird angles, and you're working with a square. When you sew it together, the block is square. It's all illusion.
Now that's cool.
Yeah,
The blocks are square.
the blocks are square. It's all an illusion. It's all because of the cut angles on the ruler. No, not at all. Very simple.
Are all these patterns on your website?
They are, and I brought some for everybody to see.
Great.
So this one is very special to me because me and Natalie designed it together last year. So this is called Tumbling Down, and it uses my neons from Tulip Pink.
So those are you.
I still have our original design, the blocks where we stitched it out, they're still hanging on my board.
Yes, because we're like, what happens if you do this? What happens if you... And that's how we came up with it. But yeah, as a matter of fact, it'll be a year-old birthday bash, because that's when we designed it.
Okay.
Yeah, birthday bash. Okay, so this is my newest one. I'm doing a block of the month this year. It started in February. It's called Inspired by Color. It's a free block of the month on Facebook. We got 2,000 active members. We're at 2,000. We just hit 2,000, so I'm really excited about it. So it's a sampler, but it's a color story, right? So it's a sampler, and it's fat quarter friendly. You use 3 fat quarters per month in a different colorway. And all of the patterns are online right now. If you want to start and join in.
Yeah. It's really fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And you know what? It's great being with an active group. You know, everybody's really engaged. People have great questions. And who doesn't like free, right? You just, and this allows you to really dig into your stash. I mean, how many of us have a stash that's like overflowing? Because you know, quilting and fabric collecting are 2 separate hobbies.
Who quilted that? Who quilted that one?
Yeah, the building's amazing.
Barb Jolly. Barb Jolly did it. She's amazing.
It's outstanding.
Yeah, she did good. I don't know if I might need help with this one because it's really big. So yeah, do you mind? This is one we filmed. So we just filmed this last year. It's called Modern Pumpkin, and it's a really big quilt. And there's a tutorial on it that me and Natalie did together. I did mine in Christmas, and then the one we did online was from Andover, Songbird. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun, and it comes with different layouts. It uses the exact same fabric. It's just the magic is in the sashing. So there's different layouts in the pattern, and whatever you lay, it's no extra fabric.
Is some of that Christmas one?
It's all Christmas fabric, and you can see the flange binding,
Oh,
the little peekaboo.
Would you call this an advanced or?
No.
No.
This is all half square triangles, lots of them.
I would call it a little more time consuming, but
Yeah.
not necessarily advanced.
Okay.
In the video, we teach you how to make 32 half square triangles at a time.
Oh.
So you can knock it out very quickly. And this was a fun to film.
you teach us that tonight?
Yeah. So last year I taught a class here for Missouri Star Academy. So they have an academy where you can come in and you can meet with different designers and take classes. It's a week-long fun. This one is called the Slicer Star, and I taught this. It's a partial seams class, and Natalie actually quilted this and bound it for me. So.
Oh, I love it. Oh.
And it is partial seams. This is traditionally pieced, and it's a lot of fun.
So where do you get that?
Where did I get what?
Where did you get that pattern?
I have it with me.
I just happen to have a couple.
You just have it.
So this is another large one. I need you one more time. Okay. So this is called Curved Square. This also uses my drunkard's path. Everything on here was Barb Jolly.
Great.
This way. So I fussy cut every single butterfly on this.
Oh, my goodness.
As you can see, I don't do small. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. You know, and normally I don't work with these colors, but there was something about this fabric line that just really inspired me, and I just loved it. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I'm actually teaching this class in,
At MSA.
no, not at MSA. I'm teaching it 2 days before MSA. I'm going to be in the UP for 2 days, and then I'm flying from the UP here to teach for MSA. So I'm going to be like going from one end to the other. Yes. Yeah. So it's going to be fun. Thank you. So, do you guys go ahead? Question? Oh, okay.
I was talking.
Oh. So, does anybody subscribe to Block Magazine? Okay. So, this was October's issue? Yeah. With Craig on the cover.
August maybe?
Yes, August. So I got an 8-page spread in Block Magazine with this quilt about my life. You can read about it. It is for sale right now in the main shop if you want to go check it out. But this is called Earp's Holiday. So the block is an antique block called Tombstone, and I'm like, oh, I'll be a huckleberry. So I took this and I named it Earp's Holiday, like Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday. And it takes one layer cake to make. And then some background paper.
The whole thing? That's huge.
Yeah, I use one layer cake and then just accent and background. Yep. And it's super easy to make. And the pattern is in the magazine.
Looks very vintage.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And that's what I was going for. I had it. My friend Lynn Ray, she did this one for me. She did it in like 1800, like the feathering, because I wanted it to look old-fashioned.
Yeah.
And this fabric is from Moda, and I bought it here when I did this, and it's called Curated in Color by Kathy Holden. I love her. She's like one of my good friends. She's an amazing designer for Moda. But you can see, like, she took like old advertising from like the 1800s and then made it. Like, yeah. She's super cool.
Do you struggle to pick out backing?
Never. Yes, that one. Right there. That's the. Yeah. I don't. So here's the deal. I'm really good. One thing I'll pat myself on the back. I'm really good with color placement and I'm really good with value. I actually teach a class called Disrupting Color Theory, teaching people how to look outside the box so it makes a more efficient pick for what they're doing. So yeah, I've never struggled with that. So this one is called Flancy. After we had our first retreat with the girls that I met, and one of them's here, Mama J.
I didn't get to go to that one.
But you know you were supposed to, but you
I was
got sick.
supposed to. But I
No,
didn't.
Dad broke his foot with the motorcycle. It fell on his
Oh,
foot.
he
His shoulder
was
or
having
something.
having surgery.
Yeah. So she was supposed to come. So we rented a house out in Indiana somewhere, and we were having such a good time. So we all like background noise. I don't know how many do you guys listen to music or turn the TV on while you're quilting, just to drown out stuff. So we put on the TV. Hallmark came on, and there was a character. Her name was Flancy with an L, and she like made it a point, and we were just laughing. So I was designing, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna name this quilt Flancy. So this is my medallion quilt that I came up with, and it's called Flancy. It's a lot easier than it looks. Yeah, it's a beautiful quilt. It's a lot of fun, and it's actually in. I think it's in there. Yep, it's in the.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun. and like it's easy. Like I said, it's log cabins, half square triangles, and flying geese. The entire quilt. It's all an illusion. The hardest part is that one point piece, and it's all in how you cut it.
I'm out.
I promise you, and I'm here, if there's something you want to know, it's great. So this is the first quilt I ever filmed with Natalie, and it's called Family Affair, because the name of the block is called Table for Four. And this entire quilt takes one layer cake and some background. And this is it. And it's on point. I like, as you can see, I kind of like the on point look.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
But yeah, it's this was a lot of fun. A lot of fun to make.
I love the painting too.
So now, the next couple ones I'm going to show you are my newest quilts. Some of the patterns aren't out yet. They will be out like in the next 2 weeks. I'm still waiting. So these are all sneak peeks. So this one is called Stardance Harvest. I came up with this while I was sitting at the airport on my way to Florida to go to my guild that I belong to, but I was teaching, and I was like bored, and I was just sitting there waiting for my thing to go off, and they had this like weird sign that was kind of like behind the window, but like outside, and it had all these weird shapes in it, and I'm like, wow, what can I do with that? I can totally turn that into a quilt. And this inception just came. So this, my friend Karen Kazar, who I just met, she did all the quilting. It's all custom. This is a beautiful quilt.
Oh my
This is the
goodness.
one that you're doing at the Quilted Cow.
I'm teaching this class at the Quilted Cow Raymore. It's in July. So right in the middle of FIFA. So yeah. Yeah. But this, I mean, like, if you get a chance to come up here and look at the quilting, I mean, she did this justice, and the name of the fabric is called Midnight Moon. It's out now from Andover. And it's a little Halloweenish, but it's more towards the fall. But yeah.
It's fall. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just so fun to make. And what's great about this is you literally make 2 blocks at a time. You can get this done in an afternoon because of the way that I teach you to sew it. You're making the opposite color at the exact same time because you're flipping. Yep. So this, did I just knock over someone's water?
Yes. It's getting on your foot, so hold it back. There you go. You're good.
No, they're not wet.
No. Got it in time.
Sorry about that, folks.
Uh-oh.
Stay tuned for,
Maybe you can use one of those.
So then we don't have any problems. The floor's clean. It's right here.
My cocoa and my tea, but there wasn't water.
Sorry, folks. It all works out.
This is what happens when it's live.
Yeah, when it's live, of course, because that's how it works out. Okay, so this one is called Paper Poinsettias. The pattern is almost finished. It will probably be out at the end of June. I designed this using my friend Renee Hanneman's cottage cloth. It's a beautiful line of essentials, and this is a Christmas quilt, and it gives you a chance to like play with color. And it's just, it's beautiful. I mean, like, the quilting, they did an amazing job. My friend Barb did it. I don't know if we can kick it up. Paper Poinsettias. So this is a block. I think it's called, I want to say it's the Colorado block. I'm probably going to get murdered online for it, but this is like a state block. And I'm like, what if I put it on point? What would it look like? And then when I did, I'm like, oh wow, it looks like a poinsettia. So that's how I came up with it. But yeah, it's great. Renee, if you're watching, you know how much I love you. Thank you for the family. All right. I'm going to save mine for last, but I want to show you, I've told you guys we're going to do a bonus project.
Yes.
So this is Twist of Fate. This is my newest pattern. The pattern just launched, and you guys are the first to get your hands on it. So I did mine scrappy. So. Yes, it is. But the one that you got, I wrote it in solids because it's easier for people to get. I was gifted this fabric from my lovely friend Natalie's stash. All the color parts. Corked. Yeah, uncorked. Yeah. So, I mean, it's beautiful. It's really easy to make. You literally make, it's no waste flying geese method. I'm going to teach you that on Thursday. So, we're going to have a lot of fun with it. So, last but not least are my last three. These are in my fabric. I came up, so when I was here 2 years ago for Birthday Bash, I was here as a spectator. I wasn't involved at all. And I had just started thinking, you know what, it's time to level up. What can I do next? And I'm like, you know what, I would love to have my own fabric line. So they have a whole tent here with all of the vendors. And so I got to meet all the people and I met with Riley Blake and Moda and Maywood Studios and Andover. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. So I gave my card, I started sending my art out, and I was like, okay, I didn't hear anything back. So I was like, okay, let me reach out to Andover. And his name was Cliff. Cliff, if you're out there, thank you, because you set this in motion. So he sent my art to he's the president of the company and owner. His name is Adam Weinstein. He's the one who really gave me my shot and gave me everything that up to now, he really just put me in my path. And after he said that, he's like, hey, I'm Adam. He sent me an email. He's like, I'm gonna call you. Can we talk? And that was it. We got on the phone. He's like, I want you to come to our company. We need you. You have such a great voice in this. Let's do this. Let's make this happen. So I signed my contract 2 years ago on New Year's Eve. And my life changed forever for that part. So this fabric is called Sparrow Falls. It's an homage to my grandmother. I used to spend summers with her because my parents would work. And she was right off the boat from Italy. And she just taught me everything I know. She loved the garden. She was like Snow White. She'd come out and the birds would just fly on her lap and she'd feed them on her house coats. It was like her thing. So, yeah. And we used to, she had her tea, because her actual teapot is in this. Like everything about her. My blender that's in here was literally her wall in her pantry. I took a picture of it and recolored it, so I called it like vintage plaster. It's called Moss in the Line, but that's what it reminded me of. So every bit of it, like the one geometric in here was her floor and her foyer that we recolored. So it's called Sparrow Falls. This one, this quilt is called Nifty Nostalgia. It's supposed to make you think of, like, remember old tavern windows, like the stained glass above the. Yeah. That's that.
Is this pattern available?
This is all of these patterns. Well, this one, it was supposed to be ready. I will probably have it by the end of the week. So you'll be able to get it. But I'm selling these as a pre-cut quilt kit. Everything comes to you pre-cut. All you gotta do is sew it. So all of the blocks, all of the stashing, everything's gonna come sew together. You'll get the pattern. But I also have the pattern sewn.
The quilting is beautiful on
I'm
that too.
Karen Kazar. She did an amazing job. So this one is called Tippy Tippy Toe. So I came up with the name because I was designing, and I don't know, does anybody have like a smart TV, when it times out and then they show commercials and doing it? So I guess there's a new Insidious 57 coming out, and that song was playing, I tippy tippy toe through my garden. That's how I came up with the name. But it was like, I'm going to take this scary movie and make it fun. So this is it. It's a partial seams. As you can see, I love partial seams. It's a lot of fun, and it's easy to make. Yeah, that's what I was going for. Thank you.
Is that also a spirit?
This is all Sparrow Falls. Yes. Yes, this is a kit. It's available now, and it'll ship in, as soon as the fabric comes, it'll ship. And then last but not least, this is called crisscross. This shows off the entire line. I like blocks that connect, and I love playing with sashing, because people don't realize, like, sashing isn't just a placeholder, it becomes a part of the blueprint of the fabric. And if you can play with it and manipulate your sashing, you can do a lot with your quilts. I think you've seen a lot of that throughout my journey here. So this is custom quilted by Barb. Oh. And this gives you the license to play with your layer cakes and not cut them up.
Wow.
It's 25 blocks, and you get to just keep it whole. And I believe we're going to be filming this soon. There's going to be a tutorial on it with me and Natalie this year. So stay tuned.
Excellent.
So,
Explain your stripes and.
oh yes, okay, so yeah, that's good. I'm glad that she brought that up. Okay, so my plaid, I used an old architectural trick that we use when we're drawing blueprints. There's an 1/8 of an inch gap between each one of the lines. You never get a crooked cut. You can cut it on the bias, you can cut it straight grain. You'll never end up crooked, ever. It's a trick of the eye. And it's been tested by multiple quilters, so I can safely say that it's true.
Wow.
What did you say the fabric line was called?
Sparrow Falls.
An 1/8 of an inch where?
So you see how these are positioned?
Yes.
So this was cut on straight grain. It's not crooked. I just cut it right off the bolt. You know, people are afraid to work with plaids because of that. But because there's an 1/8 of an inch, you don't end up with a crooked cut. Like, you know how it's kind of slightly off? You'll never get that with these.
And your custom cut on each.
Oh yes, so any fabric that you get from me, I love fussy cutting. I do it a lot. So I planned that out. So if you cut any of the teapots, the flowers, or anything, you get a 3.5 up to a 4.5 perfect centered cut. So thank you, everybody. Yes.
How do you display your quilts in your house?
How do I display it? I don't.
Okay.
Ever. They stay in their bins as they go. I mean, my quilts are out enough because I do a lot of the guild circuit or I'm teaching classes. I'm ashamed to say the quilts that I use that are on my bed at all times are like the same quilts that we use all the time. And they're nothing of mine. They're just patterns that I made for myself that I've never sold, and they're just my quilts. So they're on my bed. Yes.
How long did it take you to make all of these quilts? Was this part of your 3-year journey?
Yes, these are all made in the past 3 years.
Oh,
Yeah. And this isn't even half of them. I have about 26 more at home. I just couldn't fit it in the car. Yes.
Do you ever sleep?
Do I ever sleep? Yes, I do. But I don't need a lot of sleep. I don't need a lot. So if I can get a solid 6 hours, I'm good to go. And I do work full time. I'm an inspector for the city of Chicago for 25 years. Yes?
I thought this was your full-time job.
No, this is not my full-time job. I work a 9 to 5, well, it's early in the morning, but Monday through Friday, government job.
Oh my goodness.
Any more questions? All right. Well, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed our trunk show. And for those who've never been to one, I hope you'll get a little better understanding of what it is. And thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to this week. So thank you. Thank you so much.